Christmas tree or something else? I'll let you decide. This one is kind of one of those funky little shapes that I like to do every now and again. This is a very fun one to look at. Now, the tactic itself, there's no information on the page I got this from, except for a couple of screenshots, which we're going to show you pretty much here. But it's called the Esquema Tático Colinismo Mentalidade Atacar, which basically translates to Tactical Scheme Colinism Mentality Attack. Now, this is from someone called ColinaFCGames. Maybe that's where the Colinismo comes from. I don't know. But unfortunately, there's no other information, no description, no comments, or anything like that. And apparently, on the page I got this from, the image itself says 4321 MD Atacante Personalizado. On this, it says the 41221 Esquema Tático Colinismo Mentalidade. All of that. So I don't know. I'm assuming it was updated at some point, but they changed the name and never actually updated the screenshots or something like that. I don't know, but oh well. So we're going to see how it does for our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. So with all that said, let's just jump at the Premier League and see how they did. So how did it do for the Premier League? Well, not well. Unfortunately, in this save at least, to Aston Villa in 5th place with 72.77 goals. Not too bad. I mean, it's kind of a little bit below their average lately. Liverpool, though, in 7th is pretty abysmal. 64 points and 73 goals. You definitely expect more from them. Well, since Aston Villa came out on top, we're going to do them first. Out in the Carabao Cup semi-finals against Manchester United, 0-1 and 1-2. They do beat Ipswich Town 4-2 in the FA Cup 5th round, but they lose out in the quarters against, well, Man City again, 1-2. They do get to the Europa League final, but lose out against Fenerbahce 0-2. So overall, not a season to kind of remember. I mean, not an awful season. You're out in the semifinals of the Carabao Cup, quarterfinals of the FA Cup, runners up the Conference League. 5th place of the Premier League is not, I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. But overall, it's not the greatest season we've seen in these tactics. Squad-wise, yeah, an average number of green, I would say. 27 goals for Ollie Watkins is fantastic, but actually a little bit, well, it's about average, maybe a little bit lower than average for him. 18 for Ramsey. Assist 20 for Lucas Digne is very well done. 15 for several different players. An average rating, Leon Bailey with a 7-3-0. Now, where Aston Villa faltered against Manchester City, Liverpool celebrated. 1-0 in the Carabao Cup final. That is a good trophy. Unfortunately, in the FA Cup quarters, though, out against Manchester United. Well, unfortunately, Liverpool floundered against Atalanta. Europa League quarterfinals is where you're out in penalties. So overall, a season to forget, I would say, for Liverpool. Yes, they won the Carabao Cup. That did get them into the Europa League somehow. I didn't realize the Carabao Cup got them into the Europa League. That seems a little odd. But quarterfinals of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the Europa League. Yeah, I mean, you should have done better. I mean, especially 7th place in the Premier League. And, I mean, you get about the same amount of green as Aston Villa, maybe a little bit less. 23 goals for Salah, though. Rafinha comes in and is joining permanently, apparently, at some point. But assists, 16 goals for Robertson, 14 for Rafinha. He did a fantastic job. How is that there? And a 7.26 for Rafinha. Interesting. But otherwise, Szoboszlai is the one that's in there with a 7.12. Overall, Data Hub, though, you could see attacking numbers aren't too bad. I mean, down from kind of where you'd hope they'd be. Goals, definitely. Fouls against per game is in there. But goals per game, 2.03. XG against is 1.42. And conceded is 1.29 for Aston Villa. Liverpool showing kind of the same numbers, a little bit higher up in the attacking side as you'd expect. But yeah, the goals is a problem. 1.92 goals per game, 1.21 conceded, and then 1.23 XG against. Premier League stats, you can see Aston Villa with 1.89 points per game. Liverpool with only 1.68. Very low for them. Most goals, though, Aston Villa in 3rd with 77. Liverpool with 73. Fewer shots against. Liverpool in 6th with 370. 398 for Aston Villa. Most possession, 57 to 56% for the two. Most dribbles made, Liverpool making the list at 605. Best pass completion, 88% for both. And then most shots for Liverpool in 1st with 581, 576 for Aston Villa. Now our Premier League teams didn't fare so well. How did Ipswich Town do? 2nd place. Not too bad. And, well, 11 points off of 1st. That's kind of a doozy. You do make it ahead of Leicester and Leeds by 3 and 4 points apiece. 105 goals, though, fantastic there. We have definitely seen tactics that have brought them up. Ipswich Town has gotten a boost somehow. I have not read on how they've gotten the boost in the last couple of months from the the latest updates and all, but they are fairly consistently getting first and second place. So out in the Carabao Cup second round against Leyton Orient in penalties, and then out in the FA Cup fifth round against, well, we saw Aston Villa 2-4. So overall, an average season this time around. Second place in the league is funny enough that we're saying it's average, but they get promoted automatically, no playoffs needed. Knocked out in the fifth round is actually pretty nice, but Aston Villa do beat them to it, using the same tactics, of course. A Carabao Cup, though, second round. Squad-wise, yeah, we don't see a lot of green for them anyway. 13 goals for Harness, Chaplin with 12, and Hurst all the way down with 1 assist. 21 for Leif Davis, doing a fantastic job as usual. 719 for Marcus Harness. Championship stats, 2.17 points per game. There you go. Most goals, though, 105. Leads with 99. Can't even broach 100 when you get to the playoffs. But fourth place, fewest shots against with 411. Most possession with 56%. Most dribbles made in fifth with 791. Best pass completion with 89%, so beating Liverpool and Aston Villa. And most shots for in second with 685. So let us take a look at this Christmas tree, I'm going to say, type of tactic. Sweeper keeper in defend. Wing back on the left in support, a fullback in the right in support, central defenders in the central spots, a DM in the central mid DM area in defend, a wide playmaker this time around in attack with an inverted winger in attack on the right, trequartistas above them in attack, and a trequartista above them, all in the central attacking spot in attack, attacking mentality. In possession, passing directives to shorter, tempo is higher, mix crosses and dribble less. In transition, counter, press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the back line. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press more often, get stuck in, step up more, and trap out inside. So how did it do for our three teams? Well, I mean, Ipswich Town doing a fairly standard job these days. You are 111 points off of Southampton in first, which is pretty nice for them. But yeah, I mean, you get promoted. It seems to be what's happening in the past couple of weeks, past month or so. So they did very well. Liverpool and Aston Villa, not so much. Liverpool getting 7th place. That is pretty abysmal. Aston Villa, again, a pretty standard average job, a little bit lower than standard in points-wise, but I think this definitely is going to take some smoothing out with your squad, getting it into your squad and dealing with every match and things like that. A holiday throughout the season, which is what I did, just doesn't seem to cut it. So that is it, though, for me, Seffian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.